The modern bathroom is boring. It's a sterile box of white tile and chrome that prioritizes efficiency over everything else. But it wasn't always this way. Step back into the last century and you find a world where bathrooms were living spaces, filled with warmth, color, and engineering marvels that we have completely forgotten. From a shower that looked like a torture device to a secret hole in the wall that millions of people used for decades without asking where it went, we lost some incredible features along the way. These are 7 forgotten bathroom features that history left behind, and why it is time to bring them back. In the late 19th century, if you were wealthy enough to afford indoor plumbing, you didn't just want to get wet, you wanted to be pummeled. The needle shower changed everything. This wasn't a simple nozzle on a wall, it was a complete cage of pipes that surrounded you, often looking more like a rib cage made of chrome than a cleaning appliance. These machines featured dozens of tiny jets aimed at every part of your body simultaneously, from your shoulders down to your calves. The water pressure was so high and the stream so fine that they felt like tiny needles on the skin, which the Victorians believed stimulated internal organs and boosted circulation. It was effectively a human car wash, offering a level of hydrotherapy that modern rain shower heads simply cannot match. The needle shower died out for 2 reasons: cost and changing medical advice. By the 1920s, doctors began to argue that the intense pressure was actually harmful to women, a bizarre claim that nonetheless hurt sales. At the same time, the sheer volume of water required to run these beasts made them impractical for the average home, as plumbing became standardized. Today, we spend thousands on smart showers with digital temperature controls, yet we lack the full-body immersion these analog cages provided. A few luxury manufacturers have started building them again in 2026 for high-end clients, proving that the Victorians were right about one thing: getting hit by water from 360 degrees is an experience worth paying for. Before central heating became standard in the 1930s, the bathroom was often the coldest room in the house. Tile floors and porcelain tubs retain the cold, making winter bathing a test of endurance. The solution for the upper class was simple: put a fireplace right next to the tub. In Victorian and Edwardian homes, a cast iron grate or a small coal fire was a standard fixture in the bathroom. This wasn't just about heat, it changed the room from a utility closet into a sanctuary. Imagine stepping out of a bath, not into shivering cold air, but into the glow of a crackling fire. It turned hygiene into a leisure activity, encouraging people to linger, read, and relax in a way that a modern radiator never could. If you're enjoying this look into the past, hit subscribe and the notification bell as we release videos like this every week. Now, let's continue with a feature that might actually be hiding in your wall right now. We stripped fireplaces out of bathrooms to save space, and because radiators were more efficient, but we lost the soul of the room in the process. A heated towel rack is functional, but it isn't romantic. In 2026, with the rise of clean-burning ethanol and electric fireplaces, there is no structural reason we can't bring this back. You don't need a chimney anymore, you just need a wall. Architects are slowly rediscovering this. High-end spa resorts now routinely install linear fireplaces above tubs, yet residential builders still hesitate. We prioritized square footage over experience, forgetting that the bathroom is the one place in a house where you are guaranteed privacy and peace. If you live in a house built between 1900 and 1970, go check your medicine cabinet. If there is a tiny slit in the back metal casing, you have one of the most confusing features in architectural history. This was the razor blade disposal slot. When King Camp Gillette popularized the safety razor in 1903, the blades were disposable, but trash bags were thin paper or non-existent. You couldn't just throw a razor-sharp piece of steel in the rubbish bin without risking injury to the trash collector. The solution was to drop the used blade through the slot in the cabinet, where it would fall into the hollow space between the wall studs. There was no container, no bucket, nothing. The logic was simple. It would take centuries to fill a standard wall cavity with thin razor blades. It was the ultimate out-of-sight, out-of-mind solution. But today, when homeowners renovate these old bathrooms and tear down the walls, they are often greeted by a cascading avalanche of hundreds of rusty, 50-year-old razor blades spilling onto the floor. It looks like a scene from a horror movie. While we don't need to bring back filling our walls with sharp metal, the concept of built-in dedicated waste disposal for hazardous items is something we completely lost. We replaced this clever, if slightly dangerous convenience with plastic sharps containers that nobody actually buys. In the 1960s and 70s, the height of sophistication wasn't a tub you climbed into, it was a tub you stepped down into. Heavily influenced by the 1963 film Cleopatra, the sunken bathtub became the ultimate status symbol for the mid-century suburbanite. It promised a Roman-style bathing experience in your own home. These tubs opened up the visual space of the bathroom, making small rooms feel larger because the fixture didn't block your line of sight. They were often paired with carpet, a terrible idea we will leave in the past, and surrounded by plants, turning the bath into a literal landscape feature. It was a moment where design dared to be theatrical. The sunken tub disappeared for one very painful reason: gravity. Without a railing, a wet, soapy hole in the floor is essentially a trap. Emergency rooms saw enough slips and falls that building codes eventually made them difficult to install without massive safety modifications. Cleaning them was also a nightmare, requiring you to lie on your stomach on the floor to scrub the rim. However, in 2026, with better non-slip materials and smarter layouts, the sunken tub deserves a second look. It offers an accessibility benefit that standard high-walled tubs don't. If designed with steps and rails, it's actually easier to enter than climbing over a 24-inch porcelain wall. Look above the door in a pre-war apartment and you might see a small rectangular window hinged at the bottom. This is a transom window, and it was the air conditioning of the 19th century. In an era before exhaust fans, bathrooms were prone to trapping steam and moisture, which led to mold and peeling wallpaper. The transom solved this perfectly. By opening this high window, you allowed the hot steam to escape into the hallway, while keeping the main door closed for privacy. It created a natural convection current that dried the room out in minutes without using a single watt of electricity. We sealed these up when central air conditioning arrived, obsessed with creating hermetically sealed boxes to trap artificial cold air. But this was a mistake. Bathroom exhaust fans are loud, they break, and they use energy. A transom window is silent, failure-proof, and free to operate. More importantly, it allows natural light to flow from exterior rooms into windowless hallways. In modern green architecture, we are desperate for passive ventilation strategies, yet we ignore the device that solved this problem perfectly 150 years ago? Bringing back the transom isn't just about nostalgia, it is about building houses that breathe. If you walk into a bathroom today, you will see white, gray, or maybe a muted beige. But in 1953, First Lady Mamie Eisenhower launched a nuclear assault on neutrality. She loved a specific shade of carnation pink so much that she decorated the White House private quarters with it. The American public was obsessed. Between 1946 and 1966, an estimated 5 million American homes were built with pink toilets, pink sinks, and pink tiled walls. It wasn't just pink, you could get Ming green, Regency blue, or Tang red. Sanitary ware was treated as fashion. The bathroom was a place of optimism and expression, not just a clinical facility for cleaning yourself. The downfall of galore began in the 1970s with the introduction of avocado green and harvest gold, colors so polarizing that they eventually drove everyone back to safe, boring white by the 1990s. Real estate agents spent 30 years telling homeowners to neutralize their bathrooms for resale value. The result is a housing market that looks identical from coast to coast. But in 2026, the rebellion has started. Design trends are finally shifting back toward maximalism. We need to stop treating our homes like assets to be sold and start treating them like places to be lived in. A pink toilet is a commitment to joy. The most baffling change in Western bathroom design is that we decided to put the toilet, the shower, and the toothbrush within 5 feet of each other. In the Victorian era and well into the 1920s, the water closet was often a separate, small room distinct from the bathroom. The logic was undeniable. One room is for cleaning your body, and the other is for waste. Combining them was purely a cost-saving measure by builders to reduce piping and wall framing. We accepted this compromise so thoroughly that today, in the United States, a bathroom bathroom without a toilet is considered incomplete, even though it is hygienically superior. Europe and Japan never fully abandon this. In Japan, the toilet is almost always in its own room, allowing one person to shower while another uses the facilities. It solves the morning traffic jam instantly. In luxury American real estate, the toilet room is making a quiet comeback, usually hidden behind a frosted glass door within the master bath. But it needs to be the standard again for everyone. It is the single most practical architectural change we can make. We don't need smart mirrors or Bluetooth shower heads. We just need a door between the place we brush our teeth and the place we do our business. These forgotten features remind us that progress isn't always a straight line. Sometimes, in our rush for efficiency and modern aesthetics, we discard ideas that were actually superior. Whether it's the cozy warmth of a fireplace, the common sense of a transom window, or the sheer joy of a pink sink, our ancestors understood that a bathroom should be more than just a utility closet. It's time to reclaim that character. If you want to see more designs we should resurrect from history, make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one.